Hey, what's up? The headline here is that the update brings a proper endgame expansion with the new Mystic Ordeals system, which hands players a set of preset challenges from Maugis, and also lets rebels design their own custom ordeals to share with others. So if you've been itching for ways to spice up runs beyond the usual rituals and relics, this is the new playground. Mechanically, Mystic Ordeals act like a higher order modifier layer on top of a run. You can pick curated presets like boss rushes or horde challenges, or tweak individual parameters and build something brutal or strangely niche, and share that configuration with a code. That sharing bit is surprisingly slick for a game in this genre. It's a great way to set community challenges, scoreboards, or mess with your friends using something completely wild. The devs clearly wanted a living, social element for replayability, and the system feels built to encourage community-made content rather than lock everything behind confusing unlocks. Tied to that is the new Corrupted Biomes system, which replaces the old rifts. These corrupted regions now appear on the map at the start of runs once you've beaten Azra, and they change how you plan routes because they're risk versus reward hotspots, tougher enemies but better loot if you take them on. What's really cool is that Mystic Ordeals can alter how many of these corrupted zones appear during a run, so you can choose to flood the map with corruption for massive rewards, or keep things more controlled if you prefer a safer path. It completely reshapes route planning and makes each decision feel more important right from the first zone. On the rewards side, the update adds a really solid catalog of new cosmetics and functional content. You've got new emotes, some with voice lines, new hero skins, elite mounts with better speed and attack options, and new soul tree rewards that unlock after completing Mystic Ordeals. The mounts actually affect how you move and fight, which is nice if you've wanted more mobility variety. There are also new inspirations for run starts that change your early game strategy, and the soul tree now shows your complete rebel stats, so you can finally see exactly how your build is shaping up instead of guessing. All of this adds more depth to both long-term progression and moment-to-moment gameplay. If you're the type of player who cares just as much about polish as new features, this update delivers. A ton of bugs that used to mess with consistency have been fixed. The chicken can't be targeted by enemies anymore, Ritual of Time attacks now properly spawn past echoes, and several trinket and UI issues have been cleaned up, so health values and inventory displays behave correctly. Multiplayer softlocks and hub-related freezes have also been addressed, which makes co-op runs way more reliable than before. Reading through the fixes, it's obvious the developers listened closely to community feedback. Balancing changes are also a big part of this patch. Mana gains have been lowered across the board, Curse Luck has been adjusted, and some trinkets have been reworked, including Lucky Charm becoming a rare item. Hero balance has been tuned heavily. Brome's Drill Rush now does less damage and takes longer to recover. Galandra received several buffs to hitboxes and damage, while Reaper Cyclone was toned down. Carl and Cider both saw improvements to their ultimate abilities, along with changes to how some of their bullets and gadgets work. Telekinesis now has a hard cap on throwables, which prevents some of the more broken setups from dominating runs. All of this is going to shift how people build characters and manage resources, especially in harder content. Region and enemy changes are another area where you'll notice differences pretty quickly. In Grandery, certain boss encounters like the Spectral Dragon are no longer guaranteed, and defeating it now rewards extra gold. Some cave encounters have been replaced with inspirations instead of rituals. In Asterios, the marketplace now properly remembers shop inventories, and resurrection tokens are cheaper. Yeldrim's Darktown feels more alive and detailed. Enemy behavior has been improved across the board, with smarter pathing, better reactions to deflection, and rebalanced health pools for multiplayer. Some enemies deal more damage now, while others have been toned down, creating a more consistent challenge curve. There's also a long list of smaller fixes and adjustments that quietly improve the experience. Duplicated throwables can't be abused anymore. Companions properly follow the player who hired them. Several bosses now have portraits. Mount fatigue works correctly when fighting major enemies. Certain exploits and infinite resource loops have been removed. Audio issues during major fights have been fixed, so music transitions feel smoother. Individually, these might sound minor, but together they make the game theme feel far more stable and professional. The UI and UX updates are another underrated highlight. You can now toggle damage numbers in the options menu. Throwables can be assigned to a safer input combination so you don't waste them by accident. The post-run map hides paths you didn't take, making it easier to review your journey. Your soul tree bonuses are clearly displayed. Visual effects on certain abilities have been improved, and transparency adjustments make chaotic fights easier to read. Even player indicators are hidden during emotes now, which sounds small but makes social moments feel cleaner. On the audio side, some tracks were remixed, especially the Underking's theme, and it fits much better with the rest of the soundtrack.